Today is Thanksgiving, so of course, we're talking about gratitude. But gratitude's more than just being thankful, it's about forgiveness too. This is the first of two episodes that we're going to talk about these two emotions that are so key to being happy. And for today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can start living a more grateful life right now. I'm Cameron. I spent years building my career and creating a life I loved. And when my Prince Charming finally showed up, he had 4 kids in tow. Fast forward through lots of mistakes made and lessons learned, step-family life was much more complicated than I realized. If you're looking for help with blended family life, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Stepmom Diaries, where we keep it real as we dish about all the things. This is your weekly dose of blended family inspiration and encouragement. You're not the wicked stepmother, so let me help you find your fairy tale ending. Come on, let's do this. Hey, welcome. Today is Thanksgiving, and so no big surprise, we're going to talk about gratitude. How to be thankful more every day can absolutely improve your life as a stepmom. But I've got a little bit of a twist here. Today's episode is part 1 of a 2-part episode on not just gratitude, but also on forgiveness, because those two concepts, those two emotions are so important to keeping a positive and healthy mindset. And they're 2 things that I think a lot of us struggle with. But gratitude and forgiveness are actually tied together more than you would think they would. So I wanted to just take a minute and talk about both of them. So as a reminder, you can find the show notes for this show and all of our other shows on thiscustomlife.com. The show notes and any links that I mentioned today will be at thiscustomlife.com/episode 8. So let's start with gratitude. Back in episode 6, which you can find at thiscustomlife.com/episode 6, I talked about how to prioritize your relationship. And in that discussion, I did spend a hot minute on how easy it was for us to take our partners for granted in the kind of crazy of our everyday life, right? And quite frankly, especially the crazy that has happened this year, The same goes for gratitude. It is easy to just live life every day and not think about what and who we might be grateful for. It is easy to get sucked into negative patterns, especially as a stepmom. Dealing with a high conflict ex, maybe you're dealing with kids that don't like you. You could be dealing with an unsupportive partner. There are so many things that can go wrong in stepmom life, and it is so easy to let all of those things consume you all of the time, right? And especially this year. I mean, my gosh, just turn on the news. 2020, let's be real, it's been a dumpster fire. I think for pretty much everyone, right? I have yet to talk to anyone who has said, yeah, this has been the best year ever. And literally, think about everything that has happened this year. Australian bushfires, Harry and Meghan quit the royal family, coronavirus, Tom Hanks getting coronavirus, impeachment, Kobe Bryant, Chadwick Boseman. We've had a ton of civil unrest. We've had white supremacists. We've had murder hornets and locusts and more wildfires in the West. RBG, Eddie Van Halen. And yes, I mentioned those 2 together because, let's be honest, they were both rock stars, am I right? We had more hurricanes than ever before. We had explosions in Lebanon. The Olympics got canceled this year. For real. Now, not everything was bad, right? Harvey Weinstein went to jail, so that's good. We did get college football this fall. We have a stepmom in the White House as vice president-elect and another stepmom first lady. That's great, right? And the election's over. I think we're all happy about that, except for Georgia. Sorry, Georgia. But seriously, can you believe that this is the same year that Shakira and J-Lo rocked the Super Bowl halftime? It seems like 10 years ago. For real, I cannot believe that was this year. So yeah, this was a dumpster fire year. It was such a dumpster fire year that actually someone on Etsy is selling dumpster fire toys. I'm not even kidding. and t-shirts and Christmas ornaments. I'm not kidding. If you don't believe me, head over to the show notes and I'll put some links in there for you. They're actually kind of cute, truth be told. Anyway, I know we're all looking forward to this year being over. I know I am, and I keep saying I can't wait till 2020 is over. But I'm also starting to get a little worried because I feel like we're putting a lot of pressure on 2021 to deliver. I don't know. Does anybody else worry about that? Anyway, I think all of our holidays are going to look different this year. And so does being thankful. So, I mean, for me, my normal Thanksgiving is that my mom drives up from Florida and I cook a huge Thanksgiving dinner for my family. And we usually have some friends over, whoever's in town that either doesn't, have family or a place to go or whatever, but we usually have kind of a big party. And I love Thanksgiving dinner. It is literally my favorite meal of the year. I make recipes that have been in my family for generations, and I'm just going to tell you right now, it's amazing. Oh, and I also make Coca-Cola cake. If you're not from the South and have never had it, I can't even tell you how good it is. It's actually something that I've kind of become known for, and I make for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And, back when we used to go into actual offices, I would take it in for my office mates. Anyway, it is mouthwatering. Anyway, we're following all the guidance that's out there during the pandemic, and so we're not doing a big family Thanksgiving. We're not seeing my parents or my in-laws or anyone else. We are going to be getting Thanksgiving takeout and enjoying it by ourselves at home, which is a little bit of a letdown for me, to be honest. But we are trying, like we've done throughout this whole insane, crazy year, to figure out what being grateful looks like and how to be grateful. Gratitude is complicated, right? It is obviously a positive emotion, and it's something that you can be intentional about, but it also can be really difficult. I mean, when you have a year like 2020, it's hard to find things to be grateful for. It's hard to find the silver linings this year, right? But, if you can practice gratitude, it really is a core strategy for choosing happiness. And that's something that as stepmoms, a lot of times we have to do. We really have to choose happiness because things get in the way that could bring us down. I mean, all the time, right? And, when I'm talking about choosing happiness, when I'm talking about gratitude, I'm not just talking about saying thank you for a gift or for someone that's helped you. It is those things, right? But it's also being present for all the things in life that you can appreciate. A gorgeous sunset, puppies and kittens. Who does not appreciate puppies and kittens? When does that not make you smile, right? The kind barista who gave you an extra shot of espresso maybe because you looked like you needed it, right? A baby's laugh, all the things that you can look at that make you smile and that make you feel just a little better about life. Maybe it's the fact that although we're all stuck working at home, and maybe it sucks that you're trying to work full-time at home, your partner is too, and your kids are all virtual learning, so all of a sudden you're now a teacher of some sort. I know that really, really sucks. But how would you flip that and look at it with a grateful mindset? Has it given you more time with your family? I'm betting it has, and it hasn't always been good time, right? But it's given you more time. I'm betting that you see your kids more during the day than you would have before. You see your partner more during the day than you would have before. And that's something you can appreciate, right? Or at least learn to. And look, it's not always easy to learn how to appreciate these things, especially when you are stuck with your family 24/7 and maybe people are getting on your nerves or not doing what they should be doing or being too loud while you're trying to work or maybe record a podcast, right? But it's being intentional. It's learning how to appreciate the little moments that happen every single day, even when you're dealing with these challenges that we're all dealing with right now. Even when you're dealing with being sad or anxious or lonely. And let's be real, all of those emotions are things that we deal with as stepmoms, and I know you know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about 5 things that you can do today, right now, to help you start to practice gratitude, okay? So, number 1, reflect on what you're grateful for. Take 2 to 5 times throughout your day when things are either slow or you're in between things, whenever really. There's not a right time or wrong time. But take a pause and consider what you're grateful for. A couple of easy times to do this are when you wake up and when you go to bed. So when you get up in the morning, just open your eyes and think about what you're thankful for. Maybe you're thankful that you woke up that morning. Maybe you're thankful that, you and your partner are getting along. Whatever it is, just think about something that you are grateful for. It doesn't have to be some earth-shattering thing. You don't have to come up with some deep philosophical, thought. It can be that you're grateful for your health or the awesome pimento cheese sandwich that you made yourself at lunch. And I'm not even kidding. That was one of my things last week that I was grateful for. Anyway, just take a couple of times every day and think about something you're grateful for. Do it intentionally. It'll help shift your mindset a little. Number 2, meditate every day and use that as a way to be grateful. Okay, that may sound a little woo-woo. I've never been big into meditation. I've always found it to be a little difficult. However, once I kind of got past the notion that it's not some thing where you're supposed to clear your head and not have any thoughts, it actually became a little less intimidating for me. What it really is taking a few minutes to close your eyes, breathe in, and breathe out. And it's more about focusing your mind than it is about clearing your mind. So take a few minutes, breathe in, breathe out, and think about positive things. Think about what you're thankful for. It's really just breathing and focusing. And that can help shift your mindset. In the middle of a crazy day, you can do it at your desk. Just close your eyes and breathe in, breathe out. There are even apps that can help with that. Or if you have an Apple Watch, there is a breathe function on the watch. I will tell you, I'm not always perfect about doing the breathing when the breathe notice comes across my watch, but it is a nice reminder. So take a couple of minutes every day and just close your eyes and breathe. See how that helps you. Number 3, keep a gratitude journal. Now, I've talked about this a couple of times before. I've got a couple of posts on thiscustomlife.com related to self-care, specifically stepmom self-care. And I actually did a podcast episode all about stepmom self-care. And you can find that at thiscustomlife.com/episode 4. But the gratitude journal, it's really important. And it doesn't have to be something that you spend a ton of time on every day. It doesn't even have to be anything formal. You could have a note on your phone. You can have a dedicated notebook or a specific gratitude journal. And I'll link to a couple of ideas in the show notes for you. But it can be as simple as having a note on your phone where you just list out maybe a couple of things that you've been grateful for in the last week. It could be something that you write about every night. It could be a formal journal. But the process of writing it down, however short or long it is, it really anchors it in your brain. And it documents it so that you can go back and see what you've been grateful for recently. So if you're having a down day, you can go back and look at all the things that you have been grateful for recently. And it really will help shift your mindset a little bit. Number 4, keep a gratitude jar. Or a gratitude tree, which I love this time of year. Anyway, I love this idea. So what you'll do is you'll get an empty jar, a small stack of scratch paper, whatever that looks like, and a pen, and put them in a central place in your house. You can put it in the kitchen or the front hall or someplace where everybody goes once a day or walks through regularly. Ask every family member to write down on a piece of paper once a day one thing that they're grateful for and have them drop it in the jar. Now, you could do this either at dinner every night or during a family dinner once a week. Pull some of those notes out and read them out loud. And I think you'll be amazed at what people are grateful for. First of all, it can be really fun. It can be really hilarious, especially with young kids, because the things that they're grateful for just is such a wonderful perspective on life. But I think that, they can get really creative about it. And I think it'll help lighten everybody's mood, right? Now, you can also do this with a little tree. That doesn't have to be a Christmas tree per se, although you could get a fun little silver tree. You could really get creative with this, right? Or you could even put up a piece of paper on the wall, tape a piece of paper on the wall that's in the shape of a tree and use Post-its and put the Post-its up there the same way that you're doing with the jar. Just have a pad of Post-its and people can write down something they're grateful for and put it on the tree. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It doesn't have to be super formal, but it's a way for you to work with the whole family on being grateful, and a way for, the kids to really start that practice of being grateful. I mean, I just think it's such a cute idea, and it takes a little bit of work, and it takes a little bit of intentionality, to go through the jar or the tree once a week or something like that. But I think it could be a really fun exercise, especially with younger kids. So number 5, last but not least, I want you to identify people that you're grateful to or people that you're grateful for and express that gratitude to them directly. Now, this can look like a lot of different things, right? You could do this like once a month so that you're kind of always looking for the experiences that you have with other people that make you happy or bring you joy. It's also a good thing you can do at work if you're feeling a little uninspired there. You can find a colleague and tell them that you appreciate something they've done for you, or you appreciate how easy they are to work with, or whatever it is. Thank your boss for having faith in you, whatever that looks like. But if there's someone who you're grateful for, it's a great thing to express that to them. Send a handwritten note. I mean, people love getting mail, especially these days when we're all trapped at home. Send a little note and just say, hey, I really appreciate our friendship. I'm so glad that you're in my life, and, I'm thankful for you. I can't even tell you, that'll brighten someone's day, and it'll make you feel better too. So let's recap quickly these 5 ways that you can kind of get your gratitude back on track right now. Number 1, reflect on what you're grateful for. Number 2, try to meditate every day and use that as a way to be grateful. And again, I'm not talking about an hour-long, deep woo-woo meditation. I'm just talking about a few minutes of closing your eyes and breathing and focusing. Number 3, keep a gratitude journal. Number 4, keep a gratitude jar or tree. Number 5, identify people that you're grateful for and express that gratefulness to them directly. Now, these 5 things are definitely far from the only ways that you can express your gratitude or reframe your mindset, but they're all small steps that you can take right now, today, as soon as this podcast is over. And if you're in a dark place where things don't look bright, these things are a great start to try to change your outlook, because you can change your outlook. I'm not grateful every single day. I absolutely have dumpster fire days. And we've already established that this year is pretty much a dumpster fire year. But there are bright spots to be found if you look for them. You just have to be intentional about looking for them. So my ask for you today is to do that. Look for the bright spots. Look for the silver linings every day. And especially during this season of Thanksgiving, I really hope that whatever you're doing, you have a great holiday. And if you're a little bit down because it's the holidays and things are nutty with the family or whatever the reason is, I hope that you can have a little intentionality and find ways to be grateful. And if you can't be with all your loved ones in person today, I hope you can get together over Zoom and at least appreciate them that way. As I mentioned earlier, the other side of gratitude is forgiveness. And what do I mean by that? Well, you'll have to tune into the next episode. Don't forget, you can find the links from this episode in our show notes at thiscustomlife.com, episode 8. Thanks for listening. That's it for this week. If you've enjoyed our chat, I hope you'll help spread the word. Share this episode with friends and head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave me a review. And don't forget, for more great stepmom content, head on over to thiscustomlife.com and follow me on social media. Just search This Custom Life on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Until next time, you keep being you and know that we are in this together. See you here next week.